Good morning. Today is August 19th. The time is 10 a.m. We are here today for an above ground storage license. In accordance with Chapter 148 of the General Laws, hearing is being held via Zoom meetings to consider the application filed by Down Cape Engineering on behalf of Cape Cod Hospital for a flammable or explosive materials storage license located at 27 Park Street, Hyannis, map 242. Parcel 001. I am required to inquire if anyone is taping this meeting and to please make their presence known. Seeing no one, at this time I would like to open the meeting by inviting the applicant to present the application.
Good morning, David, and I appreciate your attendance here. This hopefully is a fairly straightforward and administrative type hearing. This is for the Cape Cod Hospital's new generators, which are the backup, principal backup power for the new addition that they're doing. The addition is designed to be basically a standalone structure, which has all its own appurtenances, including emergency backup power. And in that way, we don't infringe on the existing backup power for the existing hospital. We need to amend our license. You may recall back in 2019, we came in for some underground fuel oil storage. Those did require some minor variances from the Health Department, Board of Health, which we did submit, and went through a fairly rigorous review process on that. These are for the new 1,000 kilowatt generators, which there's a pair of them which are going to power just the new addition. Those other ones were for the dual fuel 15,000 and also for the backup generators. There's new requirements that require 96 hours of backup generator power, and so these tanks have to be fairly good size. These new ones are double wall, 2-hour rating on them. They're UL 142 listed tanks. So these are pre-manufactured shop built tanks that come with the Caterpillar. They live on the bottom of the big Caterpillar generators. And so they're very tight quality control. There's a tank inside of a tank so that if there is a puncture of the inner tank, it'll be fully 100% held by an 8,000 gallon exterior tank. And there's interstitial leak detection as part of the process. Because they're above ground, the local health department defers just the town manager's license is needed. And again, no Board of Health variances are required. These are above the ground. We put them on a big raised concrete pad. So even if the second hull was breached, would have a very clear indication that there was an issue. Of course, that's not expected. So each of the tanks is a net 8,000 gallon. The working volume is around 6902 inside. That gives us the 96-hour runtime for the 1,000 kilowatt generators. And the tanks were shown on the site plans, which we went through the site plan review process, or Cape Cod Commission, and then site plan review process. So they're well vetted. There's a map showing where they are, but they're quite proximate to the central utility plant, where there's many other such features, a little bit east of the existing tanks, and in a courtyard area that's protected from general traffic. And there'll be a large fence and bollards around these once they're constructed. So again, it's important that we have the correct licenses. As the application states, we'll keep the license for the 216,000 underground. And then this is the only other fuel storage that we have on the site. And if we could get them licensed as the 8,000 above ground fuel, they have flammable product number 2 fuel oil, which is basically diesel, but it's a petroleum product and does require, per Mass General Law, Chapter 148, Section 13, an amended license. So we'd appreciate your review of that and concurrence and eventual issuance of that. I'd be glad to answer any questions if you have them. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Dan. I just have one small inquiry. I would assume Cape Cod Hospital, based on their having tanks before, has an emergency procedure plan in place that if there is any kind of a release, that these new tanks will cause that plan to just be amended to at least include them.
Chairman, this is Mike Bachstein, Vice President of Cape Cod Hospital. We do have an emergency operations plan. We have a MOU in place with Clean Harbors. We've had that for quite a few years here at Cape Cod Hospital, and they're on our emergency call list as part of our emergency operations plan.
Thank you very much for that information. I note on the map that this is not in a flood zone. So I think that's an important thing to note. Containment is always a concern when we get close to the water, and in the expanse of the Cape Cod Hospital footprint, sometimes it's a little tricky to be casual observer to know where you're close to the water or not. Aaron, do we have any procedural issues at this point?
Silenced.
Logan for the record. Thank you, David, as well. Currently, just excuse me, putting it out there, there have been no comments received by the public, either in opposition or support, and certainly would have been discussed through site plan review, but I just wanted to make sure that the applicant is aware they would need to apply for a permit with Hyannis Fire in accordance with the state fire code and the National Fire Protection Association. Outside of that, the application is complete, the proper authorities have signed off, and it is ready for consideration. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Aaron. Noting that we did not have any public comments in writing or prior to this, we have 6 people in attendance on the Zoom. Are there any additional comments during this public hearing from any of the people on the Zoom?
I am not seeing hands raised, David.
Very good. Then hearing no further comment, I will close the public hearing. Based on the testimony and documentation provided, I find this application is favorable for approval, and we will forward the record file to the town manager for his consideration with a positive recommendation. Given all of that, meeting is adjourned. Thank you.